More tomatoes to throw? Okay. I'm going to move on to the next slide. If you have students doing multiple things in the discussion, like posting, then commenting on other posts, and then replying to the comments on their own posts, you need to give different deadlines for those responsibilities.
Right.
And I would actually set the discussion board to close with each deadline, then reopen it for the next part of what they're responsible for.
Never thought of it.
So
are you doing that in one discussion window?
Yeah. So
what stops them from making a post?
So you can close it. When you close it each time, that's when you grade it. So you make it worth 3 points. I'm giving an example here. You can do this however you want, but I'm giving an example to illustrate how it can be done. You have the discussion close Monday at 5 for their initial post. Then after it closes, you go in and grade. Nobody can add another post because the window's closed, the discussion's closed, and you're grading it. If they want to create a post that they didn't do in time, they can, and that will allow people to put comments on it so that they can reply to those comments by Friday at 5 p.m. so they can still get the other points, but they're going to miss that first point because you've already recorded it.
I wonder if that, and again, I guess it really depends on how the discussion are going. Like if people they really need help being structured into doing it the right way, then I can see that working. But sometimes you have groups where there's a lot of organic conversation happening, and I would be afraid to take the wind from under these wings this way. So I guess I would probably want to start first, see how things are going before jumping and structuring it quite so.
So in the instructions, I understand what you're saying. If they weren't allowed to reply to anyone's comments on their posts until Thursday, that would make perfect sense. What I'm saying is they have to post by Monday at 5. That's really the only requirement. If they want credit for it, they have to post by Monday at 5.
Okay.
If they want credit for it, they have to comment by Wednesday at 5.
Okay.
They can do stuff early, they just can't do it late and get credit.
So even though, I guess I'm not 100% sure how it works. So when you close the discussion board, can somebody still comment on things?
Only after you reopen it the next day.
Okay, so that's what kind of bothers me, and maybe just partially because I'm the kind of person that sleeps kind of odd hours. So I would be the one coming to comment on everybody's after hours. And
if you want to make those strange hours for closing it, that's fine. I only put these as examples. Close at 3 a.m. if you want. I don't care.
That's a wonderful idea, though. That's an interesting idea. I tested that.
Oh, another thing about the structure is it's good to provide them with a rubric. The discussion, when you're building a discussion in Canvas, it allows you to attach a rubric to it. You know, let students see what you're going to count. You know, give them some requirements for what constitutes a legitimate post. You know, if it's pass-fail where they either get the post point or they don't, then what are the qualifications for getting a post point? Or if there's some variation, like if they can earn up to 3 points for the post, what constitutes 1 point, what constitutes 2 points, and what constitutes 3 points? Spell it out for them as clearly as possible. Help them understand. And again, this is where instructions are a form of teaching. They don't know. We keep thinking that, well, we don't want to trap them in a box, right? We want to foster creativity. And I understand that completely, but that only works if they already have the background knowledge and skills in order to do something interesting with it. If they don't have the modeled behavior to borrow from and to replicate, if they don't have models to draw from, then they're not going to be able to do it. They don't know how to meet the expectations. So you may be concerned they're just going to check the boxes if you create box-like rubrics for them to follow. And I understand that completely. But a lot of them just don't know what you're expecting. They don't know what constitutes a good post. So as much as possible, you know, not just with the example, but also with the rubric, clarify it for them, discuss it with them, have a brief video explaining why something is a good post. But it's not just showing them, it's explaining, clarify it for them.
I know that most of you probably do this, but sometimes the students don't know. They have to pop on that rubric button, to actually see the rubric. In that little discussion that you're talking about, Gray, it is sometimes nice just to pop that rubric open and actually go through it, because they won't pop it open and look at it sometimes.
Right. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, a lot of students don't know a lot of the features that are in Canvas. Like when you actually give comments on their work, they don't know that the comments are there. You have to point out these things to the students. You have to tell them that where the rubrics are and how to find them. You have to tell them, where the comments are and that you do create comments and where to find them.
I have a question on that too, Greg. If students sign up to receive notifications, is there a way to go in and click the button to get notifications when a comment has been given on an assignment?
Yes, but they have to do it on their end.
Right, but they have to go in and do it, but there is that opportunity.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Absolutely.